Johnny Gargano, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Tavern Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. We are live here at the Turnbuckle Tavern for the All Elite wrap-up, featuring the one and only good old Mike BELCASTER, ladies and gentlemen, and featuring these three beautiful gentlemen alongside with me. We got Sexcalibur, the OG Fig Kid, ACEFIELD, Retro. What's up, gentlemen? How's everybody doing?
Well, I just watched a pretty damn good edition of Dynamite, so I'm pretty good right now.
You sound quiet about it.
I'm quiet? I'm tired.
Yeah.
You skipped over my entrance. I was getting ready to do sports entertaining out of the blue corner.
I don't know why you're bringing up sports entertainment when we're talking about the
Daniel Garcia, man, tonight. The reigning, defending Daniel Garcia.
Sports entertainers always beat the wrestlers. It's just fact. I think it was written in the Bible. That's how true it is.
Very true.
Many years ago.
People in the house. Jaden Sneed is here. Austin's in the house. Our buddy Austin, Joshua. We've got people watching on Twitch to get their entries.
Get them in.
I like to hear it. I like to see it. There you go. The Twitch giveaway. We are giving away a 1 of 3,000 shop AEW Kenneth Omega. He hasn't been on TV in a while, but this figure means the world to a lot of people. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a good shit giveaway. So if you guys are looking forward to winning this Kenny Omega, please comment on your Twitch channels. Hey, what do you say? I'm with Fig Freak.
What's up, Fig Freak?
Hey, getting that buzz on, watching the Tavern. I love it, dude.
Watching the Tavern.
Oh,
yes. That's good stuff. What is up, gentlemen? How is everybody doing tonight? Hot stuff.
Feeling good, man. We had a great episode of Dynamite. We had some breaking news to get to, of course. But, awesome week at the Tavern. I want to give big congrats to the three of you guys for that awesome interview last night. What an awesome job you guys did. Steve Ozer dropping some hard knowledge. Bill McKenna dropping some even more hard knowledge. It was a great trip, and you guys just continue to top yourself on Fig Night. Guys,
some news. We had some news breaking from them.
We had a lot of news. It wasn't just some news. We had a lot of additions. We had a lot of deep diving into the San Diego Comic-Con reveals. So very good shit. Again, thank you, Bill McKenna and Steve Ozer, for dropping in and giving us some love. I mean, I think I ordered 2 more Cody Rhodes on top of the ones I already ordered. Just based
code
off
you have to use, BELCASTER? What's that code you can use to get 10% off?
Shit, I wish we could use code Tavern, which is a ringside collectibles code, but I would love to use it at Mattel Creations. But I mean, go order that Cody Rhodes. You guys could buy it in a million different ways. It's amazing. Super awesome. Cody Rhodes Ultimate. Right now available until Friday. We have 2 days, less than 2 days. We have a day and a half, basically. Shit.
Wow.
Shit.
Scary. Yeah.
Get your orders in, guys. I haven't gotten mine in yet. I don't know what I'm doing.
I haven't got mine in yet either.
I ordered 3 already. I gotta order 2 more.
They made me have to order more after showing that damn box.
The box was the fox with the locks. I'm so excited for it. Good shit though. Yeah, man. Happy Wednesday night. Happy All Elite wrap up night. What did you guys all think of the show tonight? Just a quickie, not a jump into the spoilers, but like 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'd give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, man. I would say, honestly, you can't think of a number rating right now, but gut reaction, an 8 out of 10. It was nonstop action. It really was. And I don't mean total nonstop action. I mean All Elite total nonstop action. It was actually a really good time. And from start to finish, then we were in our group chat. I think the only time we really stopped watching the action was that Swerve match. And even that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. No, it was good stuff. I thought everything was fantastic tonight. I thought it was a great episode of Dynamite. I thought it was a great follow-up to last week's shenanigans on All Elite Wrestling. So I'm fucking here for it. Fig Freak, how did you know I'm playing Guitar Hero? I'm a master at Guitar Hero.
Playing Barracuda by heart, man. What a level.
Man, I'm a Dragon Force guy. I love it. No, I'm telling you, man.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Austin sent us a really nice tweet after.
Austin did send us a really nice tweet. Austin's just a beautiful individual in general.
Austin is the Tavern daddy, baby.
He's a Tavern daddy.
Hey Austin. Hey Austin. Ready? This is your face. Mwah. You little cutie.
Oh boy.
You guys ready to get into some news before we get too far?
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just flirting with our viewers. Let's just come on. Let's just go.
Wait. I know a term for that. Let's
fucking go.
Let's get into it, man.
Is that the news thing? Are we going to do? What do you want to talk about? Are we doing? All right, we're just getting right into it.
Cody's dead. We shot Cody. The only Cody you need to worry about is the Cody Rhodes Ultimate Edition. Pre-order at MattelCreations.com.
Mattel, give us a code. You need a
Why
code.
are you not working for these brands, Mike? Why are you not the spokesperson for all of this?
I should be, but Mattel, look, there's the hold on. There's the website underneath this beautiful guy right next to me, right under to me. Ooh. It's been a while since I had a guy under me. Sorry. Get all flustered.
Yeah. Well, I am more of a bottom, so it makes sense. Oh, sorry. Let's get into it.
Where are we going with the show tonight?
All right, let's get right into the news, and let's start with the first story, and it's the AEW All-Atlantic Championship being defended on Dark yesterday. Pac defeated LJ Cleary to retain the title on Dark last night. The match was taped last week. It was a very solid match, filmed in OTT, a.k.a. Over the Top Wrestling, live from Ireland. It was a really good match. We saw Pac get the win with the Brutalizer submission. Second successful defense. Did you guys catch the match? Starting with you, Mike.
I did not. I need to watch my Darks and my Dark Elevations more often because I don't watch it enough. But we were busy. We were doing Fig Night. We were doing lots of other shit. But yeah, I wholeheartedly think Pac is defending the title like a champion.
Tom, you were a little skeptical in defending it out of AEW at first. Is that correct?
Oh,
or
I love that.
Okay.
I want to see it on AEW too a little bit.
We haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been
Pac on Dynamite or Rampage since he's won a title, and that's just terrible.
It is troubling.
I mean, I like that what they're doing with it, but he should have a match here and there on TV here.
Agreed, 100%. And I think the fact that it's being defended outside is awesome, but you also should be defended inside AEW.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I think it's one of my favorite titles at the moment. Just like the versatility of it, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying like the clips they show on Dynamite and stuff like that of the matches from overseas. I think that's really cool. So I'm all about this title.
Kind of silly. Like, I love the fact that they're defending it other places, but it looks silly. It's only being defended other places now.
I get it. I also think.
I mean, give it
awesome
time. You know, he only
yeah.
won it in June. You know, so I think it'll run its course and it'll make its way to Dynamite for sure.
And it's also the All-Atlantic Championship and not the All-Elite Championship. So he's got free roam to do it wherever the fuck he wants. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Certainly will pay dividends come when they go to London, and I think that's going to be a big showcase on their end when they run those shows in the UK, because they are hot in the UK. If you watch the ratings, they're one of the top-rated programs, not only wrestling, but all across entertainment. So All-Elite Wrestling is killing it there, and they have a champion that's representing them. But we'll see where it goes. I'm withholding judgment. I'm with Tom. I want to see it in AEW. But let's move on here. Tony Khan did his weekly spot on Busted Open Radio, and he talked contract status. We didn't get the official numbers when Adam Cole and Malachi Black came over, but we actually have an idea about how long they're locked up. And Adam Cole's under contract until 2027, as is Malachi Black till 2027. So there's been some conjecture about Triple H maybe trying to get some of these guys back. I think a lot of the conversation started because if some of these guys that were the sweethearts in NXT, Black and Gold, if they knew Triple H would eventually come to power, maybe they wouldn't have been so quick to leave. But thoughts on Adam Cole? Start with you, Nick, since you got last dibs on the last topic. What are your thoughts about Adam Cole being there for so long?
Dude, I thought I didn't know how they went about contracts. I thought it'd be like 2-3 years maybe. But 2027, how long of that is a contract? He debuted last year. Was that 6 years? So
yeah.
I don't know. I did the lowest tiered math class in my school, so I don't know much about mathematics. But I think it's kind of nuts because like it does hinder if people want to go other places, explore a new WWE under Triple H. I think that'd be like a fun thing, a fun like fantasy to explore in your mind. I don't know. It's I'm glad like they're signed because I love those talents to bits, but I don't know. I think that's a that's a little much. Maybe TK should have given MJF that 2027 contract.
I think MJF already has that. So
Yeah, it's interesting because he's very sports centric in the way he does things. So it's kind of strange to me that we haven't even seen the metrics and the numbers. And I know they're not on the stock market. They don't have any sort of reason to share it, but to be more of a sports angle, you think they would share like Adam Cole signed a 7-year, whatever amount of $1 million. It would definitely be more sports centric, like the Jaguars, like Fulham. But seeing the numbers, like these contracts are a mystery to me. And some of them with WWE too, when people's contracts come up, we don't really know until about a year or two before they are actually up. So we don't know the full scope of all these guys that are locked up. So it would be nice to know and have a list of them.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. We even know, like in WWE's terms, Dolph Ziggler was on the fence of signing a contract up until recently. It's just weird. So like things like that, they add a lot to it, but it's also I like the mystery behind it. I like not knowing how long we're going to get a Malachi or a MJF or Darby, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, it makes it more interesting. It makes it more flavorful. It makes us go, I'm wondering what's going on.
Well, with Malachi, by the time this contract ends, doing the math, he'll be about 38, 39 years old. So this might be his final contract in wrestling because, people do work outside of past 40, obviously, but I think he has outside interest in his clothing brand and things that he likes to do. I think he has an interest outside wrestling. So the idea of Malachi eventually going back to WWE, that idea might be dead. But there's been a lot of talk, obviously, with Triple H taking over creative, and his love for Malachi, aka Aleister Black in WWE, and Adam Cole has been well said over the course of time. So I wonder if that would have changed, if they would have locked themselves in for a long time, if they knew Triple H would be taking over a year later.
So let me ask you this question then real quick. Do you think it's a coincidence that those are the two guys that got the super long contracts? I would say no.
I mean, the foresight that Tony Khan would have had to have knowing who's taking over, but no one could be more mistreated than Adam Cole. They were about to make him a manager. Yeah. So I think locking him up, it's security for your family. So I know they're not thinking about creative and moments for the fans, but selfishly, it creates better incentive to keep these guys interesting if they have contracts that come up every 3 to 4 years. 7 years is a very long time in wrestling. Think about how much happens from now until 2027. Think about what's happened in the last 6 months. It's been insane.
I was going to say 7 months is a long time for a wrestling contract.
So you don't know if there's outs in there. Tony Khan can also cut people if he felt to do so. It's weird. If somebody goes to him and says, "Hey, Tony, can you release me?" He might do it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
You never know.
So moving on in the news, we have Takeshita heading back to Japan for DDT Wrestle Peter. It's called DDP Wrestle Peter Pan is the event. It's the biggest event in DDT. So I'm not familiar with DDT. I don't watch it that often, but I just know Takeshita is a regular there. So he's gone for the time being. His visa to work in the United States is now done. He's unsure when he'll be back. I guess lasting impressions, start with you, Tom, on Takeshita. Do you think he made a big enough impression to warrant coming back and being a big player in All Elite Wrestling?
I'd love to see him back. He was impressive.
I like to hear it. Me too. I'm not against seeing anybody in AEW. I thought he did a really good job in his tenure there, and I look forward to seeing him more, hopefully.
10 year now, that's a contract. No, I'm kidding. When Takeshita became one of those people, when I saw him on the match card, I got insanely excited, no matter who his opponent was. JD Drake, for example, I watched JD Drake versus Takeshita on Dark, and I was pumped for that. And I don't really care for JD Drake at all. I just care for Takeshita, but that was a great match still. He became one of those people that I look out for weekly, and yeah, I'd love to see him back in AEW. You know, it doesn't surprise me. DDT having an event called Peter Pan something. They're so weird, and I love it to bits. That's they're just strange.
It's because they're as smooth as peanut butter, Danny.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
That was a weird angle to take, but I do appreciate it. Going the Peter Pan angle, not the Disney angle. We went in two different directions. But the thing with Takeshita, the wording was strange. The wording that being used for his time there is excursion. So that makes me think what he did was temporary, not even a tryout. So it makes me worried that we may not see him in the very near future, because August 20th is the show. he probably has other commitments to, I guess, go through in Japan to make sure he holds up his end of the bargain there. So I would love to see him back in AEW in the time being, because his momentum was building in a very strong direction. So the fact that he's leaving now, man, who knows if he's going to be able to catch fire like he was with those matches. The string of matches he had was unbelievable.
I think it makes it fun for when he returns. Oh yeah, he's back. It's always fun to have a guy return that you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, some of the thing with Takeshita and a lot of Japanese stars, they build up their stock. I mean, we watch even guys that are not even Japanese, like Cody Rhodes built up a lot of his stock. Kenny Omega built his legend in Japan. So if Takeshita now he has the AEW rub on him when he's wrestling in DDT. Maybe he eventually goes to New Japan Pro Wrestling and works out all throughout there and has great matches. I think his stock's only going to rise, but selfishly, I love seeing him Wednesday night with all these different talents. He looked like a young Okada, so I'm hoping he can come back.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we also have an injury update on AEW World Champion CM Punk. This was addressed by both Punk at San Diego Comic-Con and also Tony Khan on Busted Open Radio. So when Tony Khan was asked, will Punk be back at All Out in September, Khan said he can't rule it out. He's being transparent, and he doesn't want to promise anything because it's a very serious injury. This is the first time we actually heard the extent of the injury. Punk used the word shattered. So, BELCASTER, do you feel gut reaction? Are we getting Punk September in Chicago?
I feel like Punk's kind of milking it like kind of like how Cody's milking the torn bicep thing. I feel like there's a little bit of mystique to it, but I also feel like they kind of know what's going on. I mean, Cody's interviews all week during San Diego Comic-Con was like, well, who knows? I might try to beat the system. My doctor won't give me a timeline, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. I think Punk, how bad can you hurt your ankle? Are you going to really be out for, 3 to 6 years? What the fuck? Yeah. There you go. Boom. They look painful. But
they're going to be back by September now.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be back. He has to be back before September. It's his hometown show. It's his good shit.
Paired with the fact that he said shattered, he also said he's relearning how to walk, which was shocking to me.
Yeah, but he was also writing like, hey, I haven't worn the boot because I don't want people to know, like, hey, I'm fucked up. I feel like he might be milking it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm here if he returns early. I'm here if he not returns early. I'm enjoying the AEW product with or without him. I think it's fun, and I think tonight really proved that.
Yeah, I've got a question for you guys.
I have a question. What kind of English is I'm here if he not returns early?
I'm here if he doesn't return early, and I'm here if he does. Goddamn.
I'm just super optimistic about everything. I love him.
I am. You have to be. Goddamn it.
Yeah, but I got a question. Yeah, so if he returns, when he returns, how close do you think it'll be to the pay-per-view, to All Out? Do you think it'll be a week before, a week after, a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after? What do you guys think the timeline is? Because judging by how he broke his little toesies or whatever it was, his little feetsies, judging by how he did it, when you watch the clip, you see it and you go, how the fuck did that happen? Because you go, this man broke his ankle or something just by jumping over. But I don't want to, I don't want to discredit an injury. It's still an injury. But since I want to know what you guys think.
I want to give him like a 2-week window, 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after. You can't come back earlier than that. You can come back earlier, but you can't come back later than that and expect to go right into the main event for the fucking title. There's got to be a program set. You can't just jump right in the shit. If he shows up the week before All Out and he's like, I'm fucking back. Yeah. And are they really going to put a title match together that quick and make it happen? They could, but why?
I mean, you'd be robbing yourself of a good story if you don't let them come back 2 to 3 weeks prior, because that's all they need. Moxley and Punk are two of the most professional wrestlers that you're ever going to see, and they're going to tell the best story. And they have history going back to WWE that Tony Khan's going to write in there. So there's a lot of story to be told. It'd be a shame if the first time they lock up in AEW is just on a whim very quickly. But we know it can be done. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes had one of the best matches of the year on a random match. But, not a random match, but a match that he just showed up with almost no build. I mean, everyone knew it was Cody, but they had no time to build it up on TV.
And to add to that real quick, AEW is known for kind of throwing shit together very last minute, especially the last couple pay-per-views. So
Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen, but would I like it to happen? Probably not. But I would like to see more story built into it.
My prediction is he returns at All Out. Like at the end of the main event, he just walks out on stage and looks at Mox with his
I
title.
can see that.
His title. And
I think either way, he has to be there. I think you have to. It's a missed opportunity if he's not in Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really want him back. I think him at Grand Slam wrestling for the title against a Kingston or something like that would be spectacular. So I just hope he's back before then, because I feel like it's a missed opportunity if he doesn't do Grand
Maybe
Slam.
Grand Slam is where Mox faces Punk and they start to build it all out.
Yeah, my throw in my wrench throwing into the system is: do you think it's going to be Jericho or do you think it's going to be Mox?
It's gonna be Mox.
Oh,
I could see Jericho winning again.
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure, because that's also in the news. We will talk about, but we'll stay with CM Punk. He was on a panel, did a lot of talking at San Diego Comic-Con, and I love this type of this interview that they do. A lot of transparency with the talent from AEW. So Punk and Jade Cargill were recently spoke with Skewed and Reviewed while at San Diego Comic-Con. Skewed and Reviewed is another podcast that was there, and discussed their thoughts on AEW Creative. And I thought Jade's quote was very, very telling. So I'll just tell you the end of it. It's a pretty long thing. Go out and check it out. She said, "We're showing you exactly who we are and who we want to be. This is what we approved, It's just refreshing. I never worked for another company, but I wrestled sheer emotions. I play basketball, so everything is just who I am. What you see is just an extension of who I am, and I appreciate that." Punk then chimed in and said, "It's super interesting, right? To me, it's fascinating to listen to somebody." She said she hasn't worked for another company. It's important for her to be able to work in a place where she can fully express herself. I think that's kind of what, to me, killed wrestling for so long. Everything was muted and toned down and based on one person's perspective. So there's more to that quote. Tom, I'll start with you. You've been saying this for so long. You need these guys to be themselves, go out there and be authentic. They're just saying what we're all believing, right?
100%. I love it. That's what makes wrestling great. That's what you get drawn to characters, because they believe in it. So it comes across on screen that way. Then when you're given a script and you said you have to go play this guy, it's method acting. And if it's part of who they are, it's just going to make it better.
Yeah.
The other thing she did say, and I have to just say this. So this the last thing she said. As individuals, we are the ones that create the characters. Jade is Jade. We're not trying to say, no, your name is Veronica Pepperstone, some stupid ass name. So completely throwing shots at WWE. I don't think they're going to be burning any bridges, because any wrestling promotion will build around Jade. They know the star power she's creating and how much she's risen in just a year. But it was interesting to hear them being so transparent, out of character, in my belief. I mean, there's some shades of the character there, but really awesome to hear that Punk, who's been elsewhere, Jade, who's not, they both agreeing that the authenticity and the creativity that they're allowed to have in the AEW setting, it's a beautiful thing. And it's creating the best possible product that we can get.
Yeah.
Agreed all around.
All right. We have AEW's Canada debut. So this has been long rumored. In the notes before today, I did actually kind of have a thought, because they were rumored to go to Canada. I would like to see them go to Rogers Center, the home of WrestleMania 6, also WrestleMania 18. I would love to see them try to sell that out for their debut. They are not. They're going to Coca-Cola Coliseum, which holds about 10,279 people, so a little bit less than what they would have at Rogers Center. They will be making their debut in Canada October 13th and October 14th. First time they're crossing the border. There are some, I guess, questions about how many tourist fans will be able to get over the border because of all the pandemic and the COVID restrictions still in place in Canada. But I'm here for it. Canada has been starving for AEW. Mike BELCASTER, what do you think about it?
I think it's going to be very hard to get a lot of people over through Canada's border. I've heard a lot of horror stories from friends that live out there and friends that are trying to go there. But with that said, I'm fucking here for it. I think Canada is a great market for pro wrestling. AEW is no exception. And what a better place to get a bigger pop than the Coca-Cola Arena. See what I did there? It was good stuff.
That was solid. Fuck. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll give you that one. Right.
Nick Storm, thoughts on this?
Well,
besides being jaded, they're not coming to Australia. We'll get that one out of the way.
Yeah, if anything, they should have come to Australia. Oh my god, the amount of fuckery, it would just escalate. Canada would be like a walk in the park trying to get in compared to Australia, I feel like. But dude, I think this is great. I honestly could have seen them holding a 15,000, maybe even more kind of arena, because it's their first time in the Canada. I was gonna say in the Canadian land. It's their first time there, and I think there would be a lot of people traveling there and stuff like that. But all I have to say as well, WrestleMania 6 was held there. You can catch that in a few weeks on Before Our Time every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Go through every Mania. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm trying to do the ACEFIELD kind of technique where you plug very, very, like, the segue is very nice. You know what I mean? I can't fucking do it. I just
Compliment taken. I appreciate it. But listen, I'm here for Canada is a great market. WWE's put on very memorable shows there. WrestleMania 18, as I mentioned before, Hogan and Rock, also Warrior and Hulk Hogan. Some great matches there. I'm hoping that, the crowd is going to be starving. They're going to be seeing some great wrestling. So, hopefully we'll see some good wrestling on that night. But moving on here, and I had to bring this up. This popped up in the newsletter. I saw it nowhere else. And digging deeper, it is true. So before I stop you, Tom, that Dave Meltzer's lying here. Paul White, a.k.a. The Big Show, a.k.a. The Giant, our WCW World Champion in Shot of Nostalgia, said that Tony Khan has purchased the rights to Captain Insano, which was the character, if you guys don't know, from the movie The Waterboy. He said they worked out a deal with the writer of the movie and they're doing prep work, getting outfits made, and he will use the character for a final run on TV. Right now he's rehabbing a knee injury, but I got to start with you, Tom. Yeah. What are your thoughts about friggin' Paul White on TV as Captain Insano? You here for it, or is it absolute garbage?
No, I'm here for it. It'll be fun. Why not? Paul White's a good dude. He's a fun dude. Give it to me. I'm sure that it's not going to be the main story on the show. It's just going to be, something fun, a B story. Hell yeah, give it to me.
You wait and see. It's going to be everything. It's going to be the main event. It's going to be Captain Insano show.
It could be a main event of Dynamite. Sure, I have
They had the Elite dress up in Ghostbusters, so I'm sure they'd have Captain Insano in the main event. Why not? Jim Cornette's head would explode if Captain Insano went over in the main event of Dynamite.
What the fuck is this?
Who the fuck booked Captain Insano for No Mercy? It's not even an AEW pay-per-view. It's bullshit.
That's pretty great.
But we need a Captain Insano render, by the way, in here. So, next week we got to get a render, nice clear one of Paul White as Captain Insano.
With Kevin Kelly next to him.
Yes. I'm honestly just hoping that he grows the hair back in time. That's the only thing that
that would be ingenious. But I'll take a wig. I'll take a wig or two. Yeah. It'll be good.
You guys remember that the era of the Big Show when he was doing the cosplay of when he dressed up as Hogan, he was dressing up as the Giant Baby. He has the comedy stuff. I mean, people remember him, and rightfully so, as being the Giant, the Big Show, the World Champion. But he has that comedy side of him, and he doesn't care about making himself look like kind of like a geek a little bit. He doesn't care.
Yeah, comedy show, Big Show on Netflix. So
yeah,
it's definitely got
Captain Insano shows No Mercy.
But isn't that supposed to be like comedy's supposed to be funny though? That show's not funny.
I've never watched that show, so I can.
Man, it wasn't a bad show.
You watched it, Mike?
Yeah.
So you were the one.
It wasn't a bad show.
I was the one. Show. I was the one that made it until season 1.5.
All right, moving on the news, and we're almost there, guys. So stick with us. The news, there's a lot to get into because AEW's always, and this has been one of the craziest weeks in wrestling. We didn't even, if you want to learn about the Raw down and everything that went down with Vince McMahon, go and watch that amazing episode from last night, talking about all the ramifications of Vince McMahon and everything going on there. But we're still breaking down the All Elite Wrestling things in here in the newsletter. So AEW superstar Dr. Britt Baker recently sat down with Sports Key to discuss her love for former WWE Divas champion Paige, and even going as far as calling her a dream opponent, which led to them having an exchange on Twitter. Nick Storm, starting you here. Do you want to see Saraya, a.k.a. Paige, in AEW? Do you think she'd be a needle mover for the women's division?
Dude. I love Paige. I loved Paige when she was in WWE. I thought she was one of the highlights. Like I'm not that much in. I wasn't that much into women's wrestling, but I really vibed with Paige. At the time, I was I don't even know when did she debut. I might have been like 12 or something like that, right?
It was 2013, I believe. She was the night after WrestleMania 29, I believe she won the title.
Yep. Yeah, I was 12, dude. So I was
11 years ago
with the Paige train. So yeah, I'm so down for this. I think her career was cut short, and I really do hope that she is able to return to wrestling, because it is something that it sounds like just from the conversations that she's having about it, like that she's still really into and still one of her big passions. So I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So in here, she also was talking about, picture this, a very young Britt Baker blasting Paige's entrance music, which is a banger, by the way, in her car. Any go-to wrestling themes now or in the past? Tom, have you listened to any wrestling themes in your car recently? And which one was it?
Oh, I listen to Cult of Personality all the time in my car.
It's a beautiful song. I'm thinking like a Jim Johnson vehicle. Is there something that you're listening to? Or Jimmy Hart?
I might have listened to With My Baby Tonight last week.
Fuck, that is a beauty. That comes up on my daily drive on Spotify because I listen to it so much.
I happened to listen to that last week. I was in the car and I just get in these random moods where I just start picking music, and that came on. I picked that one. So I'm sure I did a couple others last week too. I always
Private Party's theme. I love Private Party's theme.
Oh my god, is that Private Party?
Hello.
Yeah, I bump
Radrick's theme right now. All My Friends Are Dead.
I love All My Friends Are Dead.
That is a great theme, by the way.
Ratty Daddy. Boom. Love it.
Love you, Ratty Daddy.
I've been bumping nothing but fucking like This Fire, what is it? The Chemical song, the Kane one.
Slow Chemical by Five.
No, Finger 11.
Finger 11. I'm thinking of Five Iron.
Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah,
there's too many five bands. Fucking have four or something. Switch it up. But yeah, Ricky Starks. Joshua said in the chat. 100%.
I can't be remorse
Danhausen's
but saying the X-Pac's theme with Run DMC is like one of the biggest fucking bangers of all day. Still on repeat in the vehicle, so I love that shit.
I also listened to DX in the game in the last couple of weeks.
All right,
I feel it.
Yeah,
no chance.
I've been hearing
played DX at Raw the other night during one of the commercial breaks, and it's so awesome listening to it in an arena like that. Brought back memories.
I've always thought this song was so weird and dickish. But I keep hearing it because before our time every Friday at 9 p.m. at EST, we're watching every WrestleMania, blah, 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 the thing. Hogan has been on every one of them so far, so Real American is just always in my head, and I got this bad boy today, so yeah.
At WrestleMania 1, Real American wasn't used.
Eye of the Tiger, right?
Yeah, I don't know at WrestleMania
2. In the network. In the network, they have it, so I have to listen to it, I guess.
That's why when we did the War to Settle and Score episode of Sessions, it was so cool finding a video with him coming out to Eye of the Tiger. Because I
remember that. I listened to that. Yeah,
I remember that was so cool. Hogan coming out to Eye of the Tiger.
So if you guys want some entrance music fix, you listen to the flagship tomorrow morning. You can hear Hawk not get any of them right, even if they say their name. So that's one of the highlights of my week.
He always guesses, is that Jade Cargill or is fucking something? You know what I mean? Private Party, he always guesses, I think.
He gets it wrong when he hears it for the second, third, and fourth time, too, so.
Hello.
Trouble.
Good morning. I think the Kyle O'Reilly one from last year was the best, when he was like, what are they saying? And the Chads wouldn't stop until he got what they were saying. That was amazing. So you guys mentioned Ricky Starks as a banging theme. Well, Ricky Starks was in the news as well. So he appeared talking about his appearance in New Orleans, and he talked about being able to wrestle there. So a full interview that he did, which was, I think, at FITAID podcast to discuss a wide range of topics, not just wrestling. So a very well-versed guy and very intelligent conversation. He did have a lot to say about this, but I also want to just talk about how much wrestling means to Ricky Starks, and we'll talk about him in that promo he cut tonight. So he said, the day after I went to my hotel and sat in the shower for a good 20 minutes, I sat there, and my mom and sister all came. People I came up with were there. I don't think people understand the feeling to lose a hometown. Your hometown is gone after the storm. To come back and have something that people are proud of. In New Orleans, they are very prideful people. To be the representation, I'm proud to be from New Orleans, to be from Louisiana. I may have an accent sometimes or say things a little funny or act a certain way. That's me and me being part of New Orleans. And he also said, the next goal, I want to be able to wrestle in the Superdome, and I'll be wrestling there one day. So maybe AEW works that. Big dream for him. They were in New Orleans where he got to come out, and he said, if you watch him come through come through the back, he said, you can almost see me cry when I do my entrance. I was so moved. It's so important to be vulnerable in those situations because people can relate to it and understand there's a little more to me. I don't let everyone see it. If you get to see me beyond the front part of this beautiful museum, you're truly blessed. Man,
Yeah.
Ricky Starks gives me chills. I truly think he's going to be the next big star in wrestling. And things like this, it transcends just being on the screen and being a good wrestler. He has the it factor.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. And obviously, we've seen it tonight. We've seen it a million times over. Dude is on fucking fire. Great talent. Even better dude on the mic. Even better person just in general. I feel like we all kind of like get that relatability to him, but also we get to see him shine and outshine a lot of talents in AEW.
I mean,
Yeah,
Starks
here we
is
go.
just incredible in the ring. Like his facial expressions, every little thing he does, his movements, the way he sells things. Like the guy's just got a talent. Like he's just so in touch with it, and he's so
He's
good.
oozing charisma. It's like it's unfair at this point. I've been on the like Starks train, I think since he won the title from Brian Cage, the FTW title, and I've just been hauling ass on this goddamn train. And dude, it's not stopping. I think the crowd's getting behind him in a big way, and it's definitely deserved. So
It's a big way. In a big way, like a Babe Ruth candy bar is a big way.
Like, put some sauce on them ribs.
I just think the difference thing, and Tom mentioned it, the facial expressions, the ability to really make the crowd feel. And with wrestling, especially AEW, and we love AEW, and we talk about the quality of the wrestling matches. What's lost with some of the matches, and I'm not saying all, is the psychology and making people and slowing down. And seeing Ricky Starks, the growth we've seen from wrestling on NWA Power, doing the opening challenge with Cody, and how much he's grown, and learning from the guys he's working in the ring with. And he's sitting there by the learning tree talking to Taz, and all that time spent with him. That's a shoot. I think he's really willing to take in all the knowledge from the wrestling of the past. And there's a lot of knowledge to be tapped into in AEW. You're talking about the D. Malenkos. You're talking about Taz. You're talking about Jim Ross. All those guys in the back that are sitting there. And if you listen, they'll give you the information, give you the answers, because wrestling is a wealth of knowledge and people need to tap into it and just not go into business for themselves. I think it needs to be learn from the past. Watch the old Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Watch the old, watch old New Japan like Eddie Kingston does. It really helps because as time goes on, man, wrestling just repeats itself and it's better when you recognize, damn, that's from an Onita match. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, and I forgot what show I said it on, but if you go back and watch that triple threat tag match where Rick fucking what is it, Keith Lee and Swerve
yeah.
won the titles, you see Ricky taking those corner bumps, especially on Being the Elite. You see these facials that nobody else does. He's like, oh, like, he's getting hit. He's really escalating that to the whole entire crowd, to the people watching at home. And like, you feel that shit. So to say that he is, just that damn good, he proves himself even more and more every time we watch him, man.
And we'll touch it base with it more tomorrow with John Gresham, but the difference between two guys. So talk about that tag match that you just mentioned. There was a spot in that match where he did a roll up and he was crying and you felt like he was about to go over. And it's like, oh my, and he sold it. And then also John Gresham, you go to the match. Everybody knew he didn't come out with his entrance gear. He looked downtrodden. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And the difference is a professional and then someone also who's pouting. And Ricky Starks, even though he wasn't going over, and he probably should have, if we're all being honest with ourselves, Ricky Starks, they should have won the tag titles. Team Taz should have went over. That was the right decision to make. But whatever, Swerve and Keith Lee have their time right now. But Ricky Starks still went out there and gave 125%, no matter what the result was.
Yep. And even the way
I'm throwing shade on John Gresham right now. I didn't even know I was going there.
The way he put over
disingenuous dick. No.
It's just a beautiful thing the way he put over Hook tonight too, and the little fist bump at the end, and the way he carries himself, the way he cut that promo, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, the last thing I want to talk about before I just talk about the updated cards. Yesterday, AEW had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con that featured top stars like Punk, Jericho, Danielson, Britt Baker, Jade Cargill, Orange Cassidy, and Darby Allin. After the panel ended with Darby, he was attacked by Malachi and Brody King. They sat down, placed Darby down on the table, and fielded a question or two, and then walked away. There was only footage from a fan camera. There was no actual AEW cameras there. So every footage you find of it is very grainy and angly. I would show you guys the video, but Go out and check it out. Very similar to the autograph signing stuff. Tom, you said you liked it last time. I guess you're enjoying this as well, right?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. It's just, now it makes you wonder, oh, I'm going to see Darby here. Is anything going to pop up? Is Brody King going to show up again?
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing to do.
Need them in a grocery store. Powerbomb them through the produce section.
It adds flavor, man. That's the best shit in the world. You can't love wrestling without them adding that little flavor. That flavor extends everything. I mean, you go to a Comic-Con, you don't expect to see that shit, but then it happens. You're like, fuck, sign me up. Let me buy more tickets. Like, where else can we follow?
Yeah.
In Flavortown, baby.
Flavortown, baby. Woo!
Yeah, and some people that were there not for wrestling were, just maybe they're interested in some of the figure releases or anything else that being said. Maybe they're into CM Punk because of his comic book connection. And you see that happen, and it's got to draw your attention. Whether it's positive or negative, it's at least drawing your eyes towards it. And like, who's this Brody King guy and who's Malachi? Was this supposed to happen? So realism in my wrestling, I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, 100%.
All right, so before I end the news, we've updated cards for Rampage on Friday. Matt Sydal versus Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page versus Leon Ruff, Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and a returning Sanjay Dutt, which, man, that was awesome, versus Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. On Dynamite next week, we have the Undisputed Elite returning, Thunderstorm versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, who, by the way, have never won a tag match. Go back and look at Cage Match. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, everyone wants to talk about, they've been a tag team for like a year and a half. They've never won a goddamn tag match. Not on Dark, not on Rampage, not on Dynamite. They've never won a tag team match ever.
I'm shocked.
It's insane.
Shooketh, as the kids like to call it.
Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy, by the way. That also got announced for Dynamite.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be fun.
The
Good
week
stuff.
after, we have a
Bring
special
me back
event.
to the 2000s, baby.
AEW Quake by the Lake, not to be confused with Clash at the Castle. August 10th from Minneapolis, Minnesota, we have the AEW Interim World Championship. Jon Moxley versus the Wizard himself, Ryan Hawkins. No, I mean Chris Jericho. That's it for the news.
What do you think about Quake by the Lake, real quick? They should have called it. They should have called it Quake by the Lakes because it's the land of 1,000 lakes. And I've been to Minnesota. There's not really 1,000 lakes there.
You counted?
I did. That was a long, boring road trip.
It could be one quake by one lake. The rest don't get any quakes. So it's just
man. But the ripple effect is just not there.
Quakes by the lake.
Earthquake debuts.
Earthquake debuts. John Tenta is excited to join All Elite Wrestling.
R.I.P. John Tenta. We love you, man.
Yes.
We don't love the shark. We love Earthquake.
Yes, we love Earthquake.
It's a man, not a shark, damn it.
Yeah. God damn it.
Oh, Shark Week.
Anyway.
So fuck it. Both gimmicks. Who cares?
Yeah, it's John
Shark
Tenta Week.
And Quake Week.
Yeah. Is there anything more sorry than John Tenta's face paint as the shark? Google that right now, guys. John Tenta is the shark.
His hair.
Is the worst face paint of all time. Actually, I take that back. Demolition at autograph signings today, like when you see them today, their face paint is hard. Don't paint your face, Barry Darso.
No, it's half.
Stop painting your face.
Dude, great point. When I see that, I'm like, why do they even do that? Oh, so
You got Tom. Tom's all in agreement. He's like, don't fucking paint your face.
If you're not going to go all in,
do it right. Don't do it at all.
Exactly, Tom.
Exactly.
Barry
Imagine
Darso
if Sting
was
just
kicked my
painted his
ass when
face
he
like
was
a
so mad
like
at
a
me when I met
mime.
him.
I would have been very upset. But anyway, guys, I think it's time for our top 3, and I think I have a good friend, Max Caster, here to join.
Listen,
boys. Holy! First off, before we get into the top 3, this should be part of my top 3, but it's not. We'll call it an honorable mention. Max Caster's freestyle against Austin Gunn, making him go for the run. No puns intended. I'm not a good rapper.
bad.
It wasn't terrible. They did a good job though. It was really entertaining. That clip was
You
fantastic.
did better than
He sent
Austin
it to
Gunn,
everybody.
I won't lie.
Yo. But Austin Gunn's a really good rapper. I think the two bad Chads were talking about it on the flagship, how good Austin Gunn is. And the Max Caster rap was good though. It was fun. It was exciting. I felt it was a little dragged out, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Dude, I enjoyed it. It was just like an episode of Wildin' Out, you know what I mean, with Nick Cannon.
Yes,
it was fun.
that-
It was really,
it had
really
that feel.
cool. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little Scrappy out there doing his thing. So
It got me to
was
tune
real
in.
fun.
And the fact, like, and what was cool about it is Colton, obviously, like you said, is a real rapper and he actually has legitimate music. The fact he was able to put his ego aside and make himself look bad, because at the end, when he kind of froze up, he was able to make light of himself, and that got him more over, because everyone's chanting ass boys at him. He understood his role, because Max Caster's whole existence in the AEW world is being a rapper, and that's sort of his claim to be acclaimed. But with Colton, if he would have made him look like shit and went into business and be like, you know what, I'm going to kill this guy in a freestyle, where does Max go from there? So Colton understood, and he's a heel. He needs to look like shit. He needs to look like, just like you would look like shit sometimes as a joke character. I think the Ass Boys played their part, and it got them more over. They're doing a great 100%. Job.
I dig it. I like it. Let's go with our number 3s. Ace, I'll kindly start with you because you have such beautiful blue lighting behind you.
Such beautiful blue lighting.
It's the best.
You know what? My phone's over there to change the lighting, but I was going to change it to orange because of the beautiful new. We need a figure of this, by the way. Hook winning the FTW Championship. We alluded to before Ricky Starks, but got to give Hook his flowers. It was a nice moment to have Taz on commentary. Also, 2 Team Taz members going at it. Hook having this moment, it felt like his momentum has really stymied since he was really hot in the spring, and I think Hook has been on Rampage. The Danhausen thing sort of fizzled out at this point. Now he's going to be back in everyone's psyche. The FTW Championship has been nothing but a prop. And I think losing the FTW Championship is good for Ricky Starks, because in our group chat, people were saying, I think it was just Hawk, but maybe some people agree with this, but the FTW Championship, him losing is a good thing, because now he can move on to bigger and better things. He's not tied up in this mid-card storyline. It's time for Ricky Starks to be a main eventer. So Hook gets his flowers. Ricky Starks moves on. Beautiful mix.
Good stuff. I like it. Nick, hit me with that number 3, baby.
Well, I've got to say, my number 3 would probably have to be on this past Rampage. It was Claudio Castagnoli cutting the best promo he's ever cut. I thought people are known, I guess, for saying, Cesaro wasn't really that great on the mic, but Claudio here, I think he's honestly, like, he's earning his stripes, and I love him on the mic. I love him on the mic, man. He was bringing fire, he was bringing everything, and I believed him, man. And going into Death Before Dishonor, guys, check out Honor Society. Tomorrow night, am I mistaken? It's tomorrow night? Yes.
7 p.m. Yep.
Oh, beautiful. 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Check out Honor Society going through all Death Before Dishonor. But that was the big build-up before Death Before Dishonor. Too many freaking syllables in that goddamn phrase, I tell you. But Death Before Dishonor. And so I was just super amped up for this. So yeah, that's my number 3 Claudio promo.
I like it. Tom, hit me, brother.
My number 3 is going to be the Mox versus Roosh match, even though the announcers were pronouncing it wrong, according to our group chat. But yeah, I love that.
Hawk was just being a contrarian. He was saying it should be pronounced Rush.
That's how it felt. I mean, he's really not wrong. When I read the news on here the first time, I pronounced it Rush, and then I heard them say Roosh. I'm like, oh, I guess it's Roosh, even though it's spelled Rush. But anyway, I love that match, so I'm going to give that number 3. Anything Mox does is fire, and this Roosh guy looks like he could have a future in wrestling.
Ooh, I like it. My number 3 also comes from Rampage. It was random. It was Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels.
Oh, hell
a good throwback to TNA Ring of Honor. Very, very fun fucking match. I thought it was fantastic. You don't get to see enough of these guys showcased, and I know Christopher Daniels is kind of slowly heading the pasture, and maybe Jay Lethal's right behind him. But I mean, why not showcase these 2 top tier talents? I think they're fantastic, good fucking shit, man. And I thought it was like a good B rating match, and it was the main event for Rampage. I thought it was really fun, really, really good stuff.
It's also a finger on the pulse of Tony Khan. It's he knows Ring of Honor fans, like, this is the lineage of Ring of Honor. Nothing more Ring of Honor than Chris Daniels. Nothing more Ring of Honor than Jay Lethal. The 2 of them coming together to build up as your go-home show. The final thing you'll see on AEW television before Death Before Dishonor on Saturday. Not sure if it helped the buy rate. It helped me feeling nostalgic about Ring of Honor, that's for sure.
100%. But I also thought that like both guys are still very, very capable to go in the ring. I just thought it was
absolutely.
really good. And I don't really bring up Rampage too much on the wrap up, so I felt like this was a really good fucking do. I think they did a great job. It was very entertaining, very fun match, especially because Rampage is in such a short, range of time periods. I think they did a really good job for the time they were allowed it. It was great.
I mean, also too, Chris Daniels' eye has not healed yet. Like, it still has.
Yeah.
Like, how did they not just tie that into the Malachi Black thing? Have him be misted, dude. Like,
That would have been great. He caught the ultimate red eye.
it's the gnarliest eye injury, and apparently he says it's absolutely fine. His vision's absolutely not affected. It looks awful though.
Yeah, one of my dad's friends when I was young got mugged, and I remember his eye being that bloodshot, and I was like seeing it in person freaks the fuck out of you.
Okay.
So like good for him for fucking still going on. He's doing a great job. He wrestled Robert Anthony this weekend in Texas, and I'm sure it was a great match because both guys grew up in the Chicago area and trained at Chicago style wrestling. So very, very, very interesting. Or Windy City Pro Wrestling. So sorry for the cumbersome there. Number 2's Ace. We're gonna go with you.
So Tom said for his number 3, I have Moxley versus Roosh as well. Fantastic, hard-hitting, dramatic opener. Everything you want to set the pace for the night. They gave Roosh a lot in this, and I was very impressed. I mean, I could not believe how much offense they gave Roosh, and he had a couple near falls. We all know that Moxley wasn't losing the title to Roosh, but there were a couple spots that were like, damn, you got to perk up for a second. That's all you want. These title matches that we're watching right now, to give a plug about WCW Nitro 1996 and Shot and Nostalgia, we see a lot of title matches that obviously the guy's not winning the championship. You know that, William Regal's not winning the title from the Giant ever. But you go in there and suspend belief a little bit. This had me suspending belief. We know Roosh isn't going to win the title, but they put a lot of effort into making him look good, and that's a good sign for Ring of Honor. They're putting a lot of weight behind the product of Ring of Honor, and man, you can't ask for more. Roosh looked like a star tonight.
100%, man. Nick Storm, Reviewhausen. What do you have to say, Hausen?
You housing me. I'm very grateful for that. But my number 2, I'm going straight with Ace on this. Mox and Roosh. I thought I missed this match initially. I woke up a little bit too late. It was like 10:30 a.m. I slept in a little bit. Okay, don't sue me if you want. But I slept in.
You made it for Fig Night. That's all that matters.
I made it for Fig Night. Exactly. I did not sleep in for Fig Night. Go check that out. Bill McKean and Steve Ozil. But yeah, Mox and Roosh. I thought, like everything Ace said, great opener. I really thought there was a couple spots there when I was like, oh, okay, wait, Roosh could. Oh no. And you know what I mean? Like it had me suspending belief, and I think that's really what I want in my wrestling. Like I don't want to go in knowing that Big Show is going to defeat Rey Mysterio every chance they get. Like I want like a little bit of underdog right there, and I felt like Roosh was the underdog here, and he had one of my favorite matches on Death Before Dishonor against Dragon Lee this past pay-per-view. Fucking amazing match, brilliant stuff. So going into this, I was super excited for it. Ace, you're like, if you haven't seen Roosh now, this is the perfect opportunity to see him against Mox. And so I was super excited for him. That's my number 2.
What more stamp of approval do you need than kicking out of the Death Rider? He kicked out of Moxley's Death Rider. Like nobody really kicks out of the Death Rider. If you mean something, nobody does. And they made him look like a fucking star tonight. And I think that can't be disputed. Yep. And listen, he represents Ring of Honor. Moxley represents AEW, the best of it. I mean, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Undisputed.
Thomas.
So I picked Jungle Boy's promo for my number 2.
What? No.
I was entertained by it. I liked it.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you. I think I just feel like that's like one of the most fall apart pieces of shit thing that's going on in AEW right now.
He wasn't terrible.
No, he wasn't terrible. But where do they go from here? Why is Luchasaurus dressed in black and Christian's a prick but Jungle Boy is a prick too.
Did you catch the excuse they used for Luchasaurus as to why he didn't turn on?
No.
He had said the reason why. Well, Jungle Boy said it for him. The reason why he sided with Christian for the time being is because he wanted nobody touching Christian aside from Jungle Boy when he came back. The most bullshit asinine booking, like even the worst booking you can think of, an Impact at its worst, would never come up with an excuse that bad. That was horrible.
Yeah.
There's no fixing that. And I agree, it is a dead storyline. I think the match is going to be stellar at All Out. I can't wait to see Christian and Jungle Boy tear the house. It's going to be an awesome match. But you had an opportunity to make Luchasaurus stand on his own. He was there.
They
just brought him back.
big time.
I think they did the turnaround super quick. I think they sped it up too fast. If they were going, they could have pushed this to All Out, have Jungle Boy come back, but Luchasaurus doesn't go back with Jungle Boy until like a month later.
Luchasaurus never went back with Jungle Boy.
No, I would have preferred.
I don't know, because it's weird because he came out, he debuted that whole black look, like Luchasaurus did the whole black gear and everything, and that's synonymous with heel Luchasaurus for me now. So him coming out in the all black still makes no sense to me at all.
This is something
Tom,
they could have totally done that week.
What did you like about the promo? I want to know, because I like the promo myself as well.
I just like Jungle Boy was real during it. Like, I like the shit he was saying. He called him a pussy, It was a fun promo. Like, I thought it's like a good side of Jungle Boy to see. Like, he's grown so much since he's been there. He used to never speak. Now he's gotten so much better on a mic. So
yeah. I don't disagree with you. I thought his promo was fantastic. I just think the program itself is the drizzling shits.
I do hate that Luchasaurus should have stayed a heel. He should have never sided back with him. It could have been a fun reunion years down the road.
Yeah, agreed, Tom. Social media has this as a star-making performance for Jungle Boy. I keep reading that. And I don't know if it's that, but, some of the nuanced stuff they should have mentioned last week when he came out. They mentioned it this week. He was wearing Christian's jacket, the one he put over his head when he concertoed him. That would have been a key piece of information that the announcer should have given us. And I think it's their responsibility to inform the fans, because how the fuck am I supposed to remember that he's wearing that jacket? He's wearing Christian's jacket. Like, really? But it would have made a lot of sense. And, I think if you guys want the real takes on and the spot-on analysis of that promo and that segment last week, go to the flagship. They crushed it. I agree 100% with what Chad said. There is some saving here. Quality of the match can be there. But for right now, Luchasaurus is back to where he was. And maybe they do a double switch again, but I don't even know if that's salvageable at this point.
Yeah.
The promo was amazing, though. Like,
it was a great promo. I didn't think it was a bad promo. I just think the program's crap. Just correct me or keep me clear on that one.
No, I hear you for sure.
The program was Luchasaurus turning face again and going with Jungle Boy. And maybe that's just a work. Maybe he's working for Christian and he turns on him again. So who knows?
Time will tell. I would very be happy to see Luchasaurus doing his own thing.
Too much turning at that point, Tom. I'd get so fucking dizzy. This storyline's already made me dizzy.
Call in the Big Show. God damn it, we love turns.
Captain Insano, please go by his real name.
Captain Insano, show mercy.
What's your number 2, Mr. Mike Belcaster?
My number 2. This has been a very fucking hard week for number 1s, 2s, and 3s. But my number 2 is the return of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and Red Death Daniel Garcia. I thought it was a fucking awesome match. Very fun. Love the little swerve by good old We the People, Jake Hager at the end of it. Just good wrestling. I was shocked to see Danielson tap out at the end of it. I thought it was fucking fun. I thought it was a great watch and a good way to end Dynamite. Very, very fun. It was one of those WCW moments. What the fuck's going on? There's just chaos happening. And it's mild chaos, but it's chaos nonetheless. I am fucking so here for it, and I'm happy to see the one and only Bryan Danielson back in the ring.
And I just to be transparent, my number 1 is Garcia winning. I was there for that. That was a huge thing, seeing Bryanson come back, put him over. And the story they told throughout that match of Bryanson falling down. You could see them going somewhere with the story.
Who's Bryanson?
I loved when he was like passed out in the ring,
no,
and they were like, "Oh, his head injury fucked him up. Like he's dead." Like, and it was good storytelling. It was really fun. I really had a good time watching it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember a few weeks ago, like it was Tony Storm and Britt Baker, and I think Britt Baker did that whole thing where it looked like she was properly hurt and concussed in the actual match. That's the same thing that happened here. I was like, "Oh fuck." And then I was like,
I did for one second. Then I believe he was actually hurt tonight. But,
Yeah. And I was like, oh, they're playing into it, of
story.
course.
But
No, you know
also
how you
kudos
know
for the
Bryan Danielson
wrestlers
was
stepping
good?
up for doing fucking concussion angles instead of, oh, my leg hurts. Oh, I hurt my ankle. I can't walk for a
Yeah.
minute. Like, that's good shit. I'm here for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, some of the drama with Bryan Danielson is the fact that he has real life injuries. And I think back to, and what I was saying before is the way you knew he was okay was the fact that he was selling as much as he was. The fact that they're even leaning into it, you know, he's 100% okay. But this reminds me of that Lesnar match all those years back at Survivor Series when it was supposed to be AJ versus Lesnar. It wound up being Bryan versus Lesnar. And it was one of my favorite matches of all time because of the story that was told. They had the squash similar to the SummerSlam Lesnar Cena match, but Bryan was absolutely destroyed, made that comeback, got Lesnar to the brink, and they were selling the neck, they were selling the head. This was very similar to that. And just to be clear, my man Bryan Danielson didn't tap. He passed out.
He passed
similar to
out.
Stone Cold. So
Yeah.
But
With
it's
less
what
blood.
Garcia. Like, it's so good too. Like, this guy's got
Yeah.
a beautiful future ahead of him. So
He got that
No,
dog in
Garcia
him.
looked like $1 million, man. How can you fucking not love watching that match? I thought it was great. A really good main event for the fucking show.
let's go to you,
sports
Ace. What's your
entertaining out of Buffalo, New York, baby.
I got your number one right here, son. No. Ace, hit us with it, baby.
My number one, I mean, man, we mentioned it before, Ricky Starks promo following the FTW Championship loss. I said it, and it might be hyperbole, but this felt like a superstar making promo, and I'm going to reference it as the noose into a tie promo. And he talked about making gold out of missed opportunities and talking about the fact that he's not featured and he makes the most of it. I felt there was a lot of truth in this promo, as there are the best promos. You think about the pipe bomb, you think about Austin 316. There's a lot of truth and frustration in Ricky Starks that he should be featured as a main guy. He's sick of waiting for his time. His time is now. And I thought it spoke volumes. And then on top of it, Hobbs turning heel on him. I didn't expect it. I mean, similar to Bryan with the concussion stuff, the next stuff with Ricky, they really lean into it and he becomes so sympathetic. And I think it's the perfect time right now to turn him into a face. And if you strap the rocket to him, you could have a bona fide baby face that is main event level come winter. Like, I think if they play their cards right, he could be a contender for the next heel champion you have. And I mean, why not? Ricky Starks is that guy that he has the charisma, he has the in-ring ability, he has the mic skills. Strap the rocket to Ricky Starks. Homegrown, I consider him homegrown of AEW because he's the first. This is the first company they gave him his start, aside from NWA. Fuck it, this promo was amazing. Go back and watch. It was quick. He didn't mince any words. He didn't, and the crowd was all into it. Amazing,
Fuck yeah.
amazing promo. Noose into a tie, baby.
Yeah, I even loved after Danhausen's bout with him, he was holding that side of his neck. You know, he was like, fuck, man. And then I'm ready for another one. And then, you know, you got Hook coming out. It was just, and that's before the promos and Hobbs turning on him. It was, this was Ricky Stark's fucking night, man.
It's the
really
old school
was.
mentality of the local talent that's just like, you can't help but cheer for him because of the fact that he's so tough and he's willing to be a defending champion. Danhausen didn't give him the fight he wanted tonight. He went out and got even better fight. He put over Hook. Even in a losing effort, he looks like the bigger star, which is hard to do. It just speaks volumes to the man that Ricky Starks is. And I think the best that we're going to see from him is very near in the future. And I'm so pumped for it, so happy for him. Making the most of the opportunities, man. You have to strike while the iron's hot. Ricky Starks is right there.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Nick Storm, hit me with that number one, baby.
Well, it just feels like I am copying Ace at this point, but Ace, make sure you post that and tag Ricky because that was goddamn heat. That was a pipe bomb in itself, Ace. But yeah, I'm going to have to say my number one is Ricky effing Starks. Ricky Starks. That's my number one. Everything we saw here, the Danhausen match was good. The Hook coming out, did not expect that. Giving Hook the title, you know, giving him that win in a great fashion. And like you said, Ace, he came out the star. Regardless of winning or losing, Ricky Starks was the star of this program. And the promo, I looked at the crowd and all the posters in the crowd were Ricky Starks related. The most posters for anyone in the crowd, the most signs were for Ricky Starks, which is insane to think about because he's just so over right now, and I love him to bits. I love little baby bits, little bacon bits, if you will. I love him and little baby bits, and yeah, that's my number one, baby. I have to say that, yeah.
It didn't stink, brother. It was good. I enjoyed it. Tom.
Well, I already gave my number one. Now you give your.
Oh
number.
yeah, fuck! It's my turn. I'm gonna totally swerve, not Swerve Strickland, but Swerve Ball you. Trios titles, my number one. Those fucking beautiful throwbacks to the WCW Tag Team Championships, bro. DDP couldn't say it better, bro. It looks phenomenal. I'm so excited to see those trios titles being thrown in, and I loved the Young Bucks promo in the back. Whoa, we got the trios titles. Hey, Hangman, yeah, we missed you. Happy birthday, bro. And then Dark Order comes up, kind of like puts a little bit of water on the fire. A weird number one, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's going to evolve into something beautiful. And I loved the way it played out. It didn't stink, brother. It's going to be good shit. I am so fucking here for it.
Great number one. And the aesthetic of the titles, AEW continues to not miss with their championship belts. And you know that Tony Khan sent it to whoever made the belt and said, make it look like this. The WWE Tag Team title, I want it to look like Harlem Heat, the Steiners. I want it to look like an old school WWE belt. And it feels important already. And listen, I know there's been a lot of talk about a lot of tournaments, and there's been too many. We had the Owen Hart one, we had the one for the All Atlantic. But we're going to see some great trios wrestling from now until September. They didn't give a date when the tournament starts, but we're going to get some awesome matches with these established teams. We have a division in place. Now they have something to compete for. I completely agree with you. Probably should have made my list. I've been calling for it. It felt like a foregone conclusion, but I mean, hell yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. We're in for a ride.
Yeah, I have zero problem. They've built a division. The division needs titles, and you've got 100%. Great trios teams there. So let's go for it.
There's too many workers on the card for there not to be a great trios division. I think they're gonna fucking prove everybody who hates on this shit so wrong, and you're gonna be like, man, why didn't they have these earlier? And again, the aesthetics of the titles, the way they look, it blew me away. I was not expecting that. I was expecting completely something different, and they really did a nice throwback to World Championship Wrestling, damn it.
Some of the matchups we picture already, like the Blackpool Combat Club versus the House of Black, and then you got the Undisputed Elite. You got the Young Bucks.
Dark Order. Yeah, Dark Order. You can go over and over and over again, man.
That reminds me.
The division.
Tony Khan was very adamant on bringing the trios titles in when Kenny was back. Kenny's close to returning. I feel like this is the biggest indication of Kenny coming back. So
very, very excellent point. That's why you are Nick Storm reviewing.
And Nick Storm to piggyback on that.
They're announcing shows up in Canada.
Yep.
Now, because he'll be back for sure. I think he'll be back before then, but he'll be on those shows for sure.
I think he's back next Wednesday. I think he's coming back next Wednesday with the Undisputed Elite.
I think he's coming back. And they have a collision. They fucking do whatever. And then they build that. And I think that's going to be great.
Scissors me, daddy. No, and I don't mean to repeat.
We need the Bucks versus the Undisputed Elite in the finals for the Trios Championship. And then House of Black can get involved after. Yeah. But I think we need to establish the inaugural champion. It needs to be I just said House of Black. The Undisputed Elite versus the Undisputed Elite versus Red Dragon and Adam Cole, whatever you're going to call them. We need that.
And just let's hear it from the man himself. How excited are you for the trios?
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. I'm fucking pumped.
We need the hug from Death Before Dishonor. It was probably the most awkward hug we got of all of them. The one where he hugged Cash. And then he tried to hug Dax, and he's like, I'm sweaty and bloody. Please don't hug me.
It's the best.
I hope that once they establish these titles, they use them, because when is the last time we've seen Wardlow now? Like they need to do a little. My one little critique is let's get these champions on TV just a little more.
It's a fair point. It is
very fair point.
For the TNT title, it's supposed to be the television championship. It needs to be featured at least on Rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage in the area wasn't paid.
You've got Rampage, Dynamite, Dark, and Dark Elevation. You could get all these titles on TV at least once every other week somewhere.
But I think right now they're crowded with those Ring of Honor championships and trying to build up that pay-per-view. I think that's why a lot of this back burner stuff has gone on, because Wardlow doesn't have a program right now, because Ring of Honor, they went into full drive to try to build that pay-per-view and get it there. And once we have Ring of Honor television in some capacity, whether it be streaming or on whatever cable network, that relieves a lot of the pressure on this roster, because then it can be like, oh, all right, we can pull Wheeler and put him on there. He's the pure champion.
Yeah.
Claudio over there. So you
Love
start
it.
to separate them and actually have program dedicated. It's just a matter of time. I think we just need to be patient, but I agree with you. We need to see Wardlow. Like, he has some momentum, and now it's kind of thwarted because he's not on TV.
Yeah. You can't build a dam in the middle of the river rolling. That's for goddamn sure.
Beautiful words.
Yeah.
That should be in
Something like
in the dentist's office, I think. You can see him sitting there waiting.
It's a dental dam, damn it. No.
Oh my god. Nick,
Anyway.
to get that reference. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. We love you. We love all of you.
Oh, look at this. Over my head.
I'm looking.
There you go.
I don't even know what happened. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
1999 sex ed, that's what they talked about.
Yeah.
It's showtime, folks.
Folks, as Sting likes to say, it is time for our main event. What your number one fucking moment of the week was.
Number one
And
moment of the week.
I'm swipping it up here. I'll start first because mine says Ricky fucking Starks all day long. I thought the match with Danhausen was great. I thought the shit with Hook was great. The promo after he lost to Hook was fan-fucking-tastic. And then the cherry, the sprinkles on top of the fucking whipped cream. We get Hobbs turning on fucking absolute Ricky Starks. So much built up here, so much story being told in the first 30 fucking minutes of the show. Count me in, sign me up. I'm absolute Ricky Starks, and I'm fucking here for it.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude.
Hell yeah. Let's fucking go. No.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Tom, we're going to reverse order now. You're
My
fucked.
match for me, the Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia.
like
That moment was Garcia winning, but for match of the week, this match was it for me. I love this match.
It was a good match.
It was.
Let's
Garcia
fucking go.
They both shined, but Garcia really looked like a friggin' star in there. So
Hell yeah.
absolutely my match of the week.
I feel it. Nick Stormhausen.
Yeah. Might have to agree with Tom here, dude. It's gonna be Daniel Garcia versus Danielson. Daniel Garcia's got that dog in him, and what a better way to show how ruthless Daniel Garcia is. And man, he's great. When this match got announced, I don't post match cards a lot or just matches and graphics on my Instagram, but that I posted because I felt like, goddamn, that's huge for Bryan Danielson's first match back, and for Bryan Danielson to put over Daniel Garcia, amazing. I loved it to bits. Yeah, I just want to know when Bryan Danielson's gonna win again. That's what I want.
Yeah,
because I feel like he's been losing the past few times, but that's okay. That's okay.
Physically and mentally. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. Daniel Garcia, there you go. Daniel effing Garcia.
I love it. Ace, hit me up with your best shot, sir.
I have to agree. Daniel Garcia defeating Bryan Danielson. And for all the reasons, I mean, aside from the finish, before we even get to it, I think the finish added to it. You talk about sprinkles and cherry on top. The finish added to it. It became a very memorable moment in a sea of memorable moments tonight. This can't be, I mean, understated. This win is, it's such a big stamp of approval on Daniel Garcia and how they view him and how Bryan Danielson views him. This is his return match from injury. It also showed Bryan Danielson is good to go. He went out and did everything he wanted to do. He bled. He took some bumps. He was outside the ring. He was in the corner. He did everything you can ask for Bryan Danielson. So to me, breathe a little easy as Bryan Danielson being one of my favorite wrestlers wrestling today and of all time. The fact that he's able to still go at the same level that he was prior to this injury, because when you hear concussion, you hear long-lasting effects, you get sort of nervous, especially with his history. Glad to see he's good. Kudos to Tony Khan and AEW's medical team for holding him back until he's absolutely ready, because he was chomping at the bit to get out there, and he proved it. I mean, the slaps were stiff. Very, very similar. Daniel Garcia, I mean, who's had two matches against two guys where they absolutely went stiff? There was photos, I think, that Daniel Garcia posted of those slaps that Wheeler hit him, and you could see the skin folding, the slap on his neck. These guys, you want to talk about snug and stiff. They go out there, and you want to call wrestling scripted, whatever you want to do. There's nothing fake about what they're doing in there. No. Absolutely amazing match.
Sports entertaining.
Yeah, and I love the entrance. Thank you for reminding me. Introducing any guys from JAS, not only the intro with the old school WWF signature, but on top of it, sports entertaining out of Buffalo, New York. I mean, fucking amazing.
Beautiful.
The heel work. Yeah. And also the history with Jericho and Daniel Garcia, that can't be forgotten. You know, the fact that he donated to the GoFundMe, as did Tony Khan as well. A lot of history with them. He does actually appreciate Jericho. But man, this ending was akin to Bret Hart and Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13. But it was a shady finish. Let's not forget about it. It wasn't that shady though.
No.
It almost was clean because Hager did hold his knee. But it wasn't like someone came in there and they gang beat him up and it was just absolutely nonsense. The ref was knocked out. This wasn't a schmoz by any means. This was a crazy career-making, memorable win for Daniel Garcia, we watch him go out there and he kills it from week to week. Any opportunity he knocks out of the park. And you want to talk about Ricky Starks making the most of his opportunity? In the main event of Dynamite, we've seen Daniel Garcia main event a few Dynamites, went out there against Bryan Danielson, had a great match, which would have been enough to put him over, but got the goddamn win, making Bryan Danielson pass out, and nobody beats him. We talked about he's on a string right now. He's losing in matches that are faction matches. Yeah. Kenny Omega couldn't beat him. Hangman barely beat him. Daniel Garcia beat him clean. I mean, I know that Hager held the leg, and I get that, but he made him pass out. That is beyond. It is huge, and I just don't think people are realizing it yet.
Was it Hager or really Jack Cameraman? No,
really Jack Cameraman. Yes.
Oh, you mean this guy?
That guy right there. No, I couldn't agree with you guys more. I thought it was great. I just thought on my end of things, I thought Ricky Starks really shined tonight, as well as Daniel Garcia. But it was just something long coming for Ricky. Daniel will get more in the long run. He's got a little bit more.
All right, so full circle to the news.
Yes,
All Out 2028. Adam Cole's gone. His contract's done. Malachi's done. Main event for the title. Wouldn't you pay to have Ricky Starks versus Daniel Garcia for the title and it feel like they're huge stars?
God damn it!
You want to talk about pillars? They talk about MJF and Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. These guys are quickly emerging to be pillars of AEW.
They're slacking the top of those pillars, and they're building their own pillar.
I think there's different pillars each year, right? So last year we got those first four pillars, like, you know, people were just calling them the pillars, and now I'm saying Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, like a Dante Martin, maybe even could be a contender. Ricky Starks, 100%. Like Hook, put him there. They like the amount of pillars, they could make a whole goddamn fortress with it. It's insane. I love it.
Easily. That's not even counting the caterpillars.
Yeah. The heat they get for WWE, they only sign WWE guys, and yes, they do a lot of that. They also build young stars, and I think WWE can learn a lot from it. Where you watch this main event, like how nice would it have been to be like, oh, stamp approval for Riddle. He goes over Roman on that SmackDown and wins the title. They would never do that because like, oh, we didn't have that plan. Do you think Daniel Garcia beating Bryan Danielson was planned, weeks and weeks ago? Like they made a decision because like, oh, let's build on the momentum. And Bryan Danielson's probably rallying for in the back, like, let him beat me. Let him beat me. I see the future. Let him beat me. That's what makes him different than everybody else.
That's what made Ric Flair a fucking god tier champion, because he was good at putting people over. And anybody that can do that and make themselves look that fucking good at the same time, they deserve it.
It was awesome.
Here's my quick question. And obviously they're turning this whole concussion thing into a story with Bryanson. Did I get the name right? Danielson. I said it again, Bryanson.
He's never gone by Bryanson. I think it's
Bryan's son. It's okay.
That's Bryanson doing in the Impact Zone.
So obviously they're making this a sort of a story. Do you think that perhaps this is going to be a story leading to the end, and Danielson's going to have his retire sometime within the next year or so?
No way.
No, he's still got like 2 more years left in the tank easily.
I hope so, but it's just I just don't know where they could go with this story.
I think Adam Cole's in worse position concussion wise than Danielson is right now.
And the torn labrum for Cole is not something to be messed with either. So like he has both going on for him. I think Danielson though, like this is his hobby. He is a glutton for punishment. He loves getting his ass beat in the middle of the ring. So like this would be like, oh, Tom, stop collecting toys. Like, you know what I mean? Like stop collecting figures. Yeah. You can't because you love it. It's your passion. Bryan Danielson, Bryanson, whatever you want to call him. He loves getting his ass beat in the middle of the ring, and like, man, he doesn't care.
Bryanson Daniel.
Bryan's and
yes.
Daniel.
Actually, pretty
I love
sure
it.
Storm said Danielson before too, but I have to go back and look at it.
He did
No,
say
Bryan
Danielson.
I did say
Danielson's the right.
Yeah.
Bryanson's the. Oh, this was fantastic. Any last closing words from any of you gentlemen before
I'm
we?
just curious, like, where do you think the story's going with him then? If they're bringing the concussion thing into a story,
Nowhere. I think it's going to go to the
I think
next
it's just
episode of Dynamite. I think it was just fresh.
Yeah,
You
to
know,
build the
yeah.
bridge to get Daniel Garcia over, and I think we're gonna see. For me, I need to see Bryan Danielson in the main event eventually. That's what you got him for. He needs to be in the title picture again.
Yeah.
Maybe it waits until the winter, maybe next spring, something like that. But this is a huge moment, and I think we're going to see more faction warfare between BCC, House of Black. We're going to get Malachi and Bryan Danielson in the ring together.
Yeah.
Brody King and Bryan. Imagine the bumps that Bryan Danielson's going to take for Brody King.
Yeah.
Fuck,
yeah.
Absolutely.
it's going to be awesome.
I'm fucking here for it. All right, gentlemen, this was a great goddamn episode of the Elite Wrap Up right here down at the Turnbuckle Tavern. Make sure you tip your bartenders and check your shit. Anybody want to get their shit in before we leave? Nick, Tom, Ace. I know we got a lot of shows this week. Some good stuff. Who wants to
right, I'll
start
start.
going?
All right, well, who wants to start? Because I got some stuff to get in. We all got stuff to get in.
All right, just guys, if you haven't checked out Fig
Go
Night
on,
this week,
Ice. Oh,
Bill McKenna, we had Steve Ozer. It was a fabulous Fig Night with Mike, Nick, and myself. They were amazing. Go check it out on YouTube, and if you want to listen to the podcast version, you can check that out on Friday morning on Turnbuckle Sessions. So.
Yeah, brother. We're going hard. We're going loud. We want you guys to experience the same love and fun that we did on Fig Night. So we are also sharing that episode on the Turnbuckle Sessions this week. So make sure you check it out. There'll be a nice little cute intro between myself and Tom Montalto. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be really good. We're going to talk about all the figure stuff and how happy we were that two really big people in the industry kindly joined us and shed some news for us for Fig Night. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Tom's looking forward to it. I know Nick and Ace are looking forward to it. The sessions are fun.
So for myself and Nick Storm, we're one half a Flashback Friday, some nostalgia fix on Friday. But before I get into that, Thursday tomorrow, Death Before Dishonor review. Myself and Freems and Sneed will all go over what happened. Big news, obviously, Claudio is our new world champion. Jonathan Gresham's no longer with Ring of Honor. FTR and the Briscoes had another classic. Did they top their match that they had at Supercard of Honor? Maybe, maybe not. You'll hear our thoughts on it. We'll give further info into the Ring of Honor news. Also, though, Shot Nostalgia, huge show. It's the biggest show we're doing yet. Episode 15, Bash at the Beach, 1996, and also the Go Home Nitro before that, July 1st. Hogan turns heel. We have a special guest, Matt from Extra Cooler, will be joining us and talking everything about WCW. We're going through the newsletter. We're not even going to be wearing suit jackets. Spoiler alert. We're going to have different outfits planned. So stay tuned. We had a lot of fun. We also have a big announcement about what season 2 of Shot Nostalgia will hold. So stay tuned for that. We'll give you info. And Nick, I'll let you take the lead on what happens after Shot Nostalgia.
Oh, yeah, brother.
So what happens after Shot of Nostalgia at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? You can catch myself and Young Anthony at the Indie Epicenter, the Classic Match Classroom, all these goddamn things for Before Our Time. If you guys don't know what Before Our Time is, we watch every WrestleMania in chronological order because we were in our daddy's sack for a lot of these WrestleManias. I haven't seen this episode we're doing on Friday. This Friday is WrestleMania 3. I haven't seen this, but people praise this as one of the best WrestleManias. We have Andre and Hogan. We have goddamn Macho Man and Steamboat. Steal the show, goddamn. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. Cannot wait. You can catch all that and more on Fridays. Flashback Fridays, dude. Shot of Nostalgia and Before Our Time, back to back. I think Friday is one of my favorite days at the Tavern, just because of that nostalgia and that flashback. So I love it to bits.
It's evergreen content, guys. I mean, you could talk about all the old. We love to talk about old school wrestling and the current product, but it's something very awesome about going back and seeing, specifically for Mike and I with Shot Nostalgia, seeing the full scope of things going on, because you can go back and watch old events, but it's different when you watch the Nitros and you're watching the Clash of the Champions and you're watching the build-up and reading the newsletter. It feels like you're really immersing yourself in the timeline, and I think that's really important to understand what's going on, because a lot of times we just go back and watch matches, but it's very important to understand context, and I think that's what we're getting here in 1996, and it's making us appreciate it more. Some things are aging not as well as they probably would have, but some things are aging like fine wine. And we're
Yeah.
going to see how the NWO turn goes and talk about what we all thought about it and if it lived up to the hype. And we're going to talk about what they thought about in the newsletter, because that's the other fascinating part. Some of the things that happen in real time, Meltzer and the other pundits didn't understand how significant it was. You go back to the curtain call at MSG, they kind of just talked about like, oh, they got in the ring and hugged each other. That had ramifications that spanned years. Like Triple H was downgraded down the card because of what happened there. It changed the business. It really did. And they just
316 because of that.
Yeah,
100%.
It changed the whole business. And it got like a little blurb in the newsletter, like, oh, they did this, and the people were mad about it. They hugged, and that was
Everybody
it.
was mad.
But now in the newsletter, it's coming back. Like we're like a month or a week or two past the curtain call, and now they're talking about how mad everybody is, and they can't punish Sean because he's the breadwinner there. But Triple H is the guy. He's left there holding the bag, like, everybody else did it, and he's left getting punished, and he's about to get squashed by Warrior. So
Yeah. No, I fucking love it. I'm excited for the rest of the week at the Tavern. The following content has been brought to you by the Turnbuckle Tavern. See, we're getting a little spoilers there too. It's good shit. I love it. I love it. Good stuff.
Mike
so
bought a motorcycle like Eric Bischoff. He's a crown, a leather jacket, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. High budget with the petty cash and shot nostalgia. Turnbuckle Tavern. It's deep.
That'll put butts in seats. Well, for ACEFIELD Retro, Nick Storm, Reviewhausen, the OG Fig Kid, and good old Mike Belcaster, this has been the All Elite Wrap-Up. Make sure you tune into the rest of the week down here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. Until then, we'll catch you next time, brother, for all the Turnbuckle maniacs out there. We'll see you soon, dude.